Good afternoon, everybody. The main name of the skit is the life-altering meeting between Swami Vivekananda and the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. The skit is based on, adopted from the writings of Dr. Dushya Pandya, who was associated with the Ramakrishna Mutt for over 6 decades. This book provides a deep insights into the life and personality of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. In doing so, the book contains the vivid description of Sri Ramakrishna, which is follows. The preeminent one being Swami Vivekananda, whose name is given as Narendra in this skit. The relationship between Ramakrishna and Vivekananda began in 1881 when they met at the house of Surendra Mitra. The meeting proved to be the turning point in the life of Narendra. Initially, Narendra did not accept Ramakrishna as his master and found him his monomaniac. He had several meetings with Ramakrishna and discussed and asked so many questions. Eventually, he became one of the closest people in his life. Ramakrishna has told Narendra, "You must not believe me without testing me. Test me thoroughly. Test me as money changers test their coins." Ramakrishna shaped the personality of Narendra and prepared him to dedicate his life to serve the humanity. Ramakrishna has also told his disciples later that Narendra had attained perfection even before his birth. Vivekananda had very great faith in youth. He felt that with hundreds of dedicated young girls and men, he can change the world and the India. Both Ramakrishna and Narendra later urged the youth to imbibe enthusiasm, commitment, responsibility, cheerfulness, perseverance, energy, and boldness, and risk-taking, etc. Vivekananda advised the youth to take up one idea, make that one idea your life. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, the muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea alone. This is the way to success. This is the way to great spiritual leaders are produced. The skit participations are the Anirudh Chandrasekhar as Narendra, as Swami Vivekananda, and Gokul Anand Iyer as Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Suman is a friend of named by Rahul. And there are some youngsters from the Patishala participating in the bhajan program. Please enjoy the skit. Thank you.
जीवन है एक बहती धारा, नहीं है कुल किनारा। राम कृष्ण तेरे नाम की नैया, केवल एक सहारा। जीवन है एक बहती धारा, नहीं है कुल किनारा।
That was a great gym session. I feel completely refreshed. So, do you have anything exciting planned for the afternoon?
I'm going to Dakshineshwar to meet up with my spiritual master, Sri Ramakrishna.
Again? To Dakshineshwar?
Yes, to meet Swami at Dakshineshwar.
What a coincidence. Just yesterday, my English professor, Mr. Hasti, was speaking very highly about this master of yours. I respect Mr. Hasti very much. He's one of the few Englishmen who takes time to learn about Indian culture, Indian tradition, as well as perform service to our fellow Indians. But anyway, how did you come to know about Dakshineshwar?
My brother-in-law Manmohan introduced me to this place. I find so much peace in Dakshineshwar, and Gurudev treats me like his own son.
I wonder. I have a lot of questions that I want to see answered. Some while ago, I met the great Devendranath Tagore, and I presented my questions to him, but I wasn't met with a sufficient response or reply. However, I still want to know the great truths about the divine.
Oh, don't worry, Narain. If it's destined, you will know it at the right time. In the meantime, why don't you come to my home tomorrow? We are having a bhajan session for Brahmo Samaj. And you have such a beautiful voice. You'll be a great addition to the group.
For bhajan, how can I say no? Let's go.
Let's go.
राम कृष्ण तेरे नाम की नई चंद्रामणि तुझी राम ने पाया दीन जगत का त्राता धन्य हुई भारत की धरती धन्य हुए माता पिता धन्य हुई भारत की धरती धन्य हुए माता पिता धन्य हुई भारत की धरती धन्य हुए माता पिता चंद्रामणि तुझी राम ने पाया तीन जगत का त्राता धन्य हुई भारत की धरती धन्य हुए माता पिता धन्य हुई भारत की धरती धन्य हुए माता पिता
It looks like you're the one that I was looking for. The one that Kali Ma told me will come to me in due course. You have such a beautiful voice. Have you ever been to Dakshineshwar?
No, sir. I have never been to Dakshineshwar. Interestingly, yesterday I was talking to Raka about his experiences at Dakshineshwar. And before that, my English professor mentioned the name. This must be some grand coincidence.
Yes, indeed it is a divine coincidence. I'm inviting you to Dakshineshwar. Will you come?
I guess. I don't know. However, if I do come, I have a lot of important questions, very difficult questions, that I will ask, and you will have to answer.
It's okay, my son. It's fine. Let's see what we can do and where this all goes.
Strange, very strange.
What happened?
I was just talking to your master, your Sri Ramakrishna, and he has invited me to come over to Dakshineshwar.
Who? Swami? Did you tell him you had lots of questions?
That I did. I mentioned I had a lot of very important questions, very difficult questions, and I don't know if he will be able to answer them.
Did he say he sent, Kalima sent you here?
He did mention that, but he seems a little bit insane. I don't know. I don't know if he will be able to answer them to the best of my ability, or to the best of his ability. I don't know. I guess we'll have to just go and see.
Let's go.
Now, let us talk in peace. I've been waiting for you for such a long time. Kali Ma told me that you would come, but she did not say when. You are the ancient Rishi Nara, a form of Narayana himself. Wait here. I will be right back. I hope you like the sweets, Mary.
Very good.
Now, ask me the questions that you wanted me to answer.
The first question that I have been meaning to ask you is, have you seen God?
Yes, I have seen God, just as I see you now, sitting in front of me. But that experience was very intense. Those that want to see Him can see Him, just as there are pearls at the bottom of the ocean, but one must hazard to find those pearls. And it may not be on the first attempt that one finds those pearls, but many attempts. That does not mean that the pearls do not exist at the bottom of the ocean. One must simply look harder. In a similar way, God is everywhere.
Wow, what a profound response. My next question to you is, life has become so hectic. I hardly find the time to relax during the day. So with this crazy schedule, how does one find the time to look to God?
Activity keeps you busy. Productivity gets you free. Productivity is God.
Well, if, like you say, productivity is God and God is happiness, then why are people who are generally very productive constantly unhappy?
That's because you have made worrying your habit. That is why you're not happy.
Because of so many problems, it seems to me that many people follow along a path blindly. They don't see where they're going. They don't know what's coming next or what has passed.
The eyes provide sight. The heart provides the way. If you look outside, you will not know where you're going. Look inside.
But along those same lines, does failure hurt more than success or going along the right path?
Success is a measure as decided by others. Satisfaction is decided by you only.
This is the type of responses that I have been waiting to hear for such a long time. If you have a couple more moments, I have a couple of more questions that I would like to ask.
Ask as many. Your questions are that of a yogi.
My first question is, how do we stay motivated? Like I said, there are so many things going on in life, but how are we to stay motivated while looking to God?
Always look at how far you have come, rather than how far you have left to go. Always count your blessings, not what you're missing.
But that can get kind of difficult. Personally, I've seen a lot of my own prayers and wishes have not come to fruition. What do you say to that?
There are no unanswered prayers. Keep the faith and drop the fear. Life is a mystery to be solved, not some problem to be resolved. Life is wonderful if you know how to live it.
Well, if what you say is true, these are the responses that I have been hearing, that I've been waiting for the longest time. But I have one more question before I take my leave and think about what has transpired. This question is, can I see God? Is it possible for me to see God just like you have?
Of course you will. I know that you will. I know that you will provide guidance for your brother disciples and shower them with caring love. I know that in fact you will travel to many parts of India and the world and spread your message of love. Kali Ma herself has revealed this to me.
Thank you.
O Kali Mata, your grace is unending. As you have blessed, I have finally met the person who will carry on with my work and spread this message of love around the world. At a suitable time, as you have decided, I will bestow this young man with all the spiritual power that I have obtained by your grace. I will then gladly leave this body and find solace in whatever you have arranged for me next.
Naren, did he answer all your questions?
Of course he did. It started off, when it started off, I was very skeptical. But as time went on, he answered all of my questions.
What happened there?
So, like I said, I went to him and I was very skeptical. I did not think that he would have the answers to my questions. Even the great Devendranath Tagore did not have. And I didn't even know this man. So I went to him and I was very, very skeptical. But as we started talking, I realized that he was actually quite wise and extremely knowledgeable. As I presented my questions one after another, he presented me with responses just as quickly and even more powerfully. Interestingly, he even asked me back to his ashram so that I can ask more questions and go forward and learn more.
Of course, Naren, you should trust this great soul completely. You get all the wisdom of a college course in 1 or 2 sittings. Even the course you think you may know will get deeper and wider. Your bhakti can grow only when you pray and visit temple regularly. Only then you will understand. Surrender to this great master. Consider yourself lucky and blessed.
Now I finally understand. I have asked my master so many questions, and he has presented me with responses for all of them. Like you said, I have surrendered to his feet, and I've taken it upon myself to pass his message of love and kindness across boundaries, across race, across ethnicity, across class, to all who are willing to listen. I encourage the youth to rise up and come with me on this noble crusade. Let me tell you something that I was working on this afternoon during my free time. I was thinking, how can the youth cause change, stimulate change within society? I thought of a five-step method. The first step is for the youth to become leaders and to become knowledgeable in their field of study or work. This would allow them to build a sufficient foundation of knowledge, as well as to expand on their network and maintain discipline. The second step would be to get involved in already existent nonprofit organizations, in whatever they would like to do, whether it be feeding the homeless, or providing health care or social welfare to those who need it the most. The third step would be to find potential areas that they can improve on, potential problems in society, and work to solving them. The fourth step is probably the most crucial. The fourth step is to understand that this is a group effort. This is not a solo venture. Not one person can make this change. We need to understand that as a group, we have a voice. And my last step is to understand that the goals of the group are far superior than personal self-interests.
Thank you.